Good.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode here on In the Front Row. Unfortunately, we are quarantined and at home again, but we are still going to roll on here. Shireen, unfortunately, can't join us tonight. Happy Easter, everyone, and I hope Shireen's having – okay, I don't like that intro. Can we start it over?
All right. Well, hopefully we can cut that out.
Yeah, hopefully we can cut that out. That was shit. Okay, well, okay. All right, let's start again. What? I keep rolling in this chair. Okay.
Don't roll away. Don't roll away.
Okay, you ready?
Right.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of In the Front Row. Happy Easter, everyone. And unfortunately, we are not in studio again. We are stuck in our homes during this quarantine. Unfortunately, social distancing. Fredo is here with me to discuss all things sports. Shireen, unfortunately, is not here this week, but hopefully she will be back soon. And Shireen, I hope you're spending it with your family. We really do miss you here, so get back as soon as possible, hopefully next week. Fredo, how are you doing today in quarantine?
Man, I'm doing good. It's not the usual, but it's something that we all gotta have to adjust to the new change in this world that we're having nowadays. And it's kind of fun in a way, but not in a way. So, but how you doing over there?
Holding down here, trying to take walks a little bit, get out of the apartment, but it's
Yeah.
it's
Man,
definitely,
man, you're lucky because you're right in Hollywood.
yeah.
I'm out here in my city over here in Pico Rivera, which is, the east side
Is,
of Los Angeles.
is there a good walking location out there?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of good spots out there, but apparently you got to stay indoor, not go outdoor at all. But you always got
Yeah,
to,
that's true.
if it's, you got something important you got to do, you got to take care of it. But otherwise,
Yeah,
stay
sometimes you
home.
got to get some fresh air, right? We hopefully soon we will be back in studio, guys. We do have a lot to talk about here, so let's get started, and we'll start with the NFL because there was actually news in the NFL this week with Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott, and it was not contract news. Dak Prescott apparently threw a party with what TMZ reported 30 people during the social distancing period. Cops showed up to Prescott's house because of a report filed, I'm guessing by a neighbor, violating social distancing, the protocol. And when the cops arrived, Fredo, they reported there was not a party there, and they just gave Prescott basically a warning. So first, I want your reaction to the story, and then we'll open up a bigger conversation.
Yeah, so I mean, I did get a chance to check that out, and apparently, it just seems to me that there's just haters out there, people just hating on Dak Prescott. Whether apparently it was his home, he did have about 30 some people over, including his teammate running back in Ezekiel Elliott, the Zeke freak that I like to call him. But you know, there's no big issue. I mean, yeah, he had some people over. It was apparently one of his best friends' birthdays. They had a little celebration and whatnot. But I guess in Texas out there, they're in the city right outside of Dallas, which is, I don't know. I don't think that area right now is so worried about the coronavirus. I know every state is a little different. I know New York has worse, kind of here in LA. But I'm not sure how the situation is out in Texas and how important it is to them. I mean, if they feel kind of like they're safe, why not have 30 people come over in a time like this? But at the end of the day, I don't think that's none of our business. That's their business. They want to go ahead and get sick out there. They want to go ahead and catch the coronavirus. That's all them.
I get that. I just do want to say sources close to Prescott, or a source close to Prescott, did say that there were no more than 10 people at the house. I do want to give his side
Oh
of the
well,
story.
well that's a big number difference
Yeah,
there for
for
going from
fairness, so
30. Yeah.
yeah, TMZ reported 30 people. People are saying they could have showed up when the party was over. Maybe they were having a dinner or a smaller dinner. I did want to give his side of the story. It does open up a bigger conversation in, are athletes treated above the law in this country? And if so, is it fair?
Um, I mean, you can't really say how these athletes are being treated by the cops and just through any situation, whether it's good or bad. Never can really get the whole of it. It just really depends on the officer. I always believe because one officer can be so nice to a player, one officer could just be a hater and just want to take him to jail, do something to him. He we're all aware about the O.J. Simpson situation out here with the cops. He having favoritism from some of them being racially against him or whatnot. So you just never know with these cops. But the athletes always have a target on their back, no matter whether it's from the cops or from any stranger walking down the street. But there's always a target. on everyone's back. And I mean, my guy Lonzo Ball knows it best. He has a target every single minute since he stepped
Uh-huh.
foot. UCLA.
That's definitely called the paparazzi, right?
Yes.
Always reporting stories. If I mean, it is kind of, you kind of have to follow the law. Obviously, we do want this coronavirus period to pass.
Mhm.
And if the alleged number of 30 was in the house, obviously we don't know. That's what TMZ is reporting. I think then you have to look at it as an issue. I
Yeah.
think if there are less than 10 people, I don't think that it should be an issue. And honestly, I don't know if it wasn't Dak Prescott. I have a feeling that that person would have been fine, but also we would have never heard of it. So
Yeah.
it
So wait,
definitely.
in this situation though, what do we do in that household that have more than 10 people? There's certain people
I'm
that have, or even about 8, 9, or 10 people. But what happens there? Because everyone got to stay in the same house, right? Or some people stay outside, some people stay inside, or what?
I I'm not in that situation. So.
Yeah. So but I'm just saying because I mean, there's some people out there, people with big old houses, big families, everyone that lives together. Now it's kind of like it should be more than 10 people in that kitchen at one time. But I mean, I don't know. I guess who knows? But I guess just people being hating on Dak Prescott.
I think, I mean, it obviously is negative news for the Cowboys quarterback, but obviously it will pass. I don't think it will be a big deal in a few weeks. I think, just like you said, the athletes are always followed in this country, and due to the paparazzi and media outlets getting hold of stories like TMZ, you're going to hear obviously about this. We will probably hear more about it in the future, but again, Dak Prescott apparently was throwing a party for it. Hey, as long as he focuses for the Cowboys, I don't think the Cowboys are going to be mad. As long as if the season returns on time and he performs at his best, I don't think the Cowboys will care.
That's ridiculous though for TMZ to even try to start something in a situation like this. And we all know what TMZ is all about all the time. I had a run up with TMZ about a year ago or less.
Senior,
And they
tell it.
yeah, so what they caught on to one of my stories off of Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And it had to do with Big Baller Brand and Lonzo Ball and LaMelo Ball, which is I think right before I got a chance to meet you. So all this happened. TMZ got a
Oh,
hold of
I was
me.
too late.
Yeah, so they got my story out there. They put my name out there. It was kind of in a way. I mean, anybody out there, just go to TMZ and look for Big Baller Brand Fredo Cervantes. You'll see what happened. I don't want to talk in behalf of the situation, but TMZ is always trying to catch a story, man.
They always are trying to catch a story again. They reported there were allegedly 30 people at the Prescott household
And then
with.
it goes to 10.
Yeah, well, that's what a source close to
Yeah.
Prescott did say. There were no more than 10 people at the house, so I guess we will never know. The police, again, when they
Right.
arrived, they did not file a report, or they filed a report, I believe, that there was no party at Prescott's house. I guess we'll see. As long as I think as the Cowboys don't care as long as he performs this upcoming season. More football news happened this week, and it was about Terry Bradshaw's comments. And I want to get your opinion on this. Terry Bradshaw via the New York Post said about Tom Brady, I don't think he's the greatest quarterback of all time. Bradshaw also said, quote,
Whoa.
and I want to read this just to make sure. It's hard to say. He may be the best quarterback we've had in the last 30 years. Is he better than Staubach? No. Is he better than Dan Fouts? No. Dan Marino? No. I'm talking talent-wise when you're putting all of it together. Does he have more Super Bowls than anybody? Yes. Therefore, he's the best, which that kind of confuses me. He also goes on to say, I absolutely have no problem saying it. If you've got the most Super Bowls, you can be in there, but I don't put anybody as the greatest of all time. Is he better than Montana? Not my opinion. Is he better than Drew Brees? Yeah, maybe. That's a little shade.
That is some shade right there
Yeah,
on
so
Breeze.
I want your opinion. Do you agree with Terry Bradshaw that he isn't, or do you think TB12 is the best quarterback or the greatest quarterback of all time?
It's still crazy to say it in this way because he's still in the league. Even though he's
Mm-hmm.
been here for 20 years, he's still in the league. I personally think Terry Bradshaw is wrong in this. I mean, he personally has not seen the last 20 years of Tom Brady in the New England Patriots. I mean, he's been the Fox NFL Sunday TV analyst since 1994. Come on, Terry, you haven't been watching since 1994 and what Tom Brady has done up and down. I mean, yeah, he had two awful losses to Eli Manning in the Super Bowl, which he kind of regrets. But just stop and think for a second. Imagine those two Super Bowls that he lost in the last 10 years against the New York Giants. Imagine if he would have won those two, he would have had 8 Super Bowls right now. 8 out of 20. There is no other athlete besides the cheating Bill Russell in the 1960s that has more rings or championships in in out of 20 years, 8 out of 20, and he's still looking to get more with that. I personally don't think he's going to get any more Super Bowls now that he's with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But at the end of the day, I think he is the GOAT. Tom Brady is the GOAT. There's nobody else. The other person that I kind of consider that is near the GOAT conversation, which a lot of people kind of don't have this person there, is Brett Favre. Brett Favre was just a talent and just his – he has something in him that he had no fear, and he was just a champion in and out on that football field. But Brett Favre deserves some credit to be a top 3 quarterback of all time.
I think it's a conversation that, like we were talking about the best NBA players last week, and I think it's a conversation depending on the decade. I think you have a lot of quarterbacks over time that could vouch to be the greatest of all time. And I think the one thing I did agree with Terry Bradshaw is I think he was talking talent-wise. I don't think he was talking Super Bowls. There are a lot, I should say, of talented quarterbacks currently in the NFL that you could even put ahead of Tom Brady for more talent.
But when you're talking about greatest of all time, everything got to be included. Everything got to be included.
That's what I think he was trying to say with his quote, because he did say, "Does he have more Super Bowls than anybody?" Yes, therefore he's the best. So I guess he was saying maybe Tom Brady isn't the most talented quarterback of all time. His quote may have been taken out of context, but I agree with you in that. I think you have to put everything into one. And if you put everything into one, you put the Super Bowl appearances, you put what he's done over 20 years in New England. I think you have to put him at number one. Is he the most talented quarterback of all time? I don't think so. I think that possibly you have more talented quarterbacks. I think you could even put Aaron Rodgers as the most talented quarterback in the past.
I knew you were going to bring that up. Because I know how you and Aaron Rodgers are two little buddies.
I'm saying talented. I'm not saying the greatest of all time.
Yeah, but that guy's not a top 10 quarterback. I don't think he's not even a top 5 in the league right now.
Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers is not a top 5 quarterback right now. Are you crazy?
He made it to. I disagree there. Wait, who would you put above him?
Oh, I mean, okay, let's start off. Right now, Tom Brady, you got to put him above Tom Brady. You got to put Drew Brees in front of him right now. You got to give it to Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl MVP. You got to give it to Lamar Jackson as number 4. And I mean, you still got some other quarterbacks, even Garoppolo. Garoppolo did beat Aaron Rodgers, so right off the bat, I give it to Garoppolo right now. What about Russell Wilson?
I
named at least 6 quarterbacks that are arguably better than him. And I mean,
I don't think
Aaron Rodgers.
I don't think Tom Brady.
Who doing out of those 6 players I just named right now? Who do you think is not better than Aaron Rodgers? Yeah, from the guys I just named.
I don't think Tom Brady's currently a top 5 quarterback. I think if you look at his career and all-time measures, I think he is up there. I think
he got to be in the conversation, but you can't just take him out because he's coming into his 21st year.
I think you can take him out. I think the only quarterback that I would possibly put above Aaron Rodgers right now is Drew Brees. I think that
he's just one out of the 6. I mean,
yes, I think Brees is talented. You've seen what he's done in New Orleans, and he just got a big signing from Sanders. Talent-wise, yes, I think you could debate Russell Wilson as well, and I think that's the other one that you could put above. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is in a too heavy rush offense. I think that, and I don't think he's better than Aaron Rodgers, even though he beat them in the NFC Championship game. His team beat them.
True. But at the end of the day, it's not a one-man team. It's a team sport.
I think you actually Patrick Mahomes as well. I think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league right now.
So you don't put your own guy Lamar Jackson in front of Aaron Rodgers?
I think Lamar Jackson, even though he had an MVP year, I think he still has a lot to prove. Fredo, he's young and he still has a big upside. In a few years, we could be talking. I don't think he's above Aaron Rodgers right now, but I think he could get there in a few years. He still has a lot of potential and a lot to prove.
All right. I still got to put him over.
No shade, because I'm happy the Ravens have Lamar Jackson. I am completely happy with that. We can debate this all day. I do want to get on to some news. I want Shireen's take. I wonder what she thinks. Maybe she'll tell us next week if Tom Brady's the greatest of all time. Another greatest of all time debate. Well, this is currently. Steph Curry recently was on an Instagram Live with JaVale McGee. And when JaVale McGee asked him the question, currently who could he score 60 points against? Steph Curry said everybody. So it got me thinking, first of all, is that true? And second of all, is Steph Curry the best scorer of all time? Not the best player, the best scorer of all time.
Oh, yes, he can score 60 on any team because it's Steph Curry, man. This guy can shoot
Yeah.
from anywhere on the court. So that's not a problem. Um, I do believe he can do it on the other 29 teams. But now talking about the greatest scorer
Maybe let's
of
say
all time,
maybe let's say in the league right now to make it a little easier.
best scorer in the league right now.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can give it to him. But Kevin Durant is still a great scorer. I mean, once he's healthy, I mean, he's just unstoppable. 2-time back-to-back Finals MVP and champion as well before he got the Achilles injury. But I mean, besides those two guys, I mean, another sharpshooter upcoming, Trey Young. Keep an eye out for that man. Trey Young's a shooter.
Yeah.
He can definitely put the ball in the hole just like he did in Oklahoma in college. But I mean, another kind of sharpshooter, someone that can just give you 50, 60 off the bat any given night. I mean, you got to give it to those two guys probably. But who do you have? Well, and don't tell me it's Bradley Beal, even though Bradley Beal got close to it a couple times. Don't tell me it's Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal's not a better scorer than Steph Curry.
Okay.
I'm not that crazy. I still
Sometimes you are, Dylan, so I got to double check on you.
I still think Bradley.
Temperature? Have you checked your temperature lately?
I'm good over here so
You're
far.
good? You're good? Okay.
I still think Bradley Beal is deserved to be in the All-Star lineup, but that's a whole different debate that was
True.
months ago.
True.
We're not going to continue to debate that, but
Right.
I'm thinking because it is difficult. I think Trae Young is still young. I think it's kind of like the Lamar Jackson case in football. I think he has a lot to prove. I don't think you can rank him as a better scorer than Steph Curry right now. I think I'm trying to think if I could rank anyone above Steph Curry. I think the only person you could rank above Steph Curry when healthy is Kevin Durant.
Yeah, you know what? I think I left off this guy. I know I threw a lot of shit on this guy because I don't like his side of the defensive side of the ball, but it's James Harden. James Harden I think he's another guy who could possibly get close to those numbers. But that guy plays no defense at all. Jesus Lord.
Well, yeah, we are talking score. I don't think you can take 60 shots a night and consider yourself the best scorer in the league.
Right.
I think he's up there. I think Steph Curry is a better scorer than him. I think Steph Curry can score points in a hurry, especially when he's healthy. And the Warriors are going to be interesting when they are back healthy. Obviously, this season that's suspended, they aren't doing so well because of all the injuries. But I think once you get your pieces back and you get someone valuable from the draft, I think it's obviously watch out for the Warriors. Once again, we'll see. Hopefully, the NBA season resumes. Well, not soon, but somewhat soon, we'll say.
Somewhat soon.
Yeah, so we are going to do a little reflection. I thought Shereen was going to be on the set, but I'll ask you, did you see the CBS Sports article? Shaquille O'Neal once offered his teammate Isaiah Ryder $10,000 to fight Kobe Bryant. Nobody really knew this until now. Basically, Shaq told him that if he were to start a fight with Kobe during one of the practices, that he has $10,000 in his locker, and he would give Ryder that $10,000. Ryder did not do it because he said he would basically be shipped out of town because Kobe Bryant in LA. Your reaction to the story, Fredo? Did you know that beef was that bad between Shaq and Kobe?
Yeah, so I mean, I've done my research, I've done my work over these last with these two guys, and I heard about that story a few years back, where Shaq, he didn't just do it to Isaiah Ryder either, with some other players as well, including Robert Horry. He always tried to pick fights against the kid, but apparently Shaq's reaction and his whole thing was he just kind of wanted to see if Kobe was the guy, whether he's one of the guys that's gonna kind of retaliate and kind of fight back and be that man, or is he just gonna worry about what's in front of him and what's on the basketball court. And then once after he found out, he's like, no, this guy's a bulldog. This guy's gonna go through you and for you at all times. And I mean but that's crazy because it's said that their relationship got to that point where you have Shaq trying to pay another guy off to kick Kobe Bryant's ass because of their time on the court, whether Kobe was being a ball hawk. Another thing as well, Shaq and the other teammates had a little kind of code that they would say on the court, which means when they say this code, it means do not pass the ball to Kobe Bryant. Keep the ball away from Kobe. But when you watch certain games, yeah, I do agree. And I remember watching back then where Kobe was just so dominant with the ball. He always looked at teammates, looked away, went for a drive, fade away. Most of the times they went in, sometimes they went off. But then you saw a lot of times where he didn't like sharing the ball on the court, but it could have been that he knew these guys were playing a game against him on his own team on the court. So he kind of, probably be a little smart to be like, all right, you guys are playing this game with me. I ain't gonna pass you guys the ball. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot 40 times, even though he's gonna shoot them out of the series, and that's the reason why they lost in 2004 against the Detroit Pistons because he was hogging most of the time, and that's where everything just blew up after the 2004 season. Shaq got traded to Miami. Karl Malone retired. Gary Payton also went to Miami with Shaq. Kobe stood by himself. Phil Jackson walked away. Derek Fisher walked away. Rick Fox walked away. Robert Horry walked away. I mean, I could just name all these players walked away in the '04 series and left Kobe behind. Bush Parker, Luke Walton, Brian Cook, Sasha Vujacic, I mean, Kwame Brown. I mean, all these guys that Kobe got left over with. And, it was hard for that Kobe Bryant teams after Shaq and everybody else left. But, I mean, Kobe was just another guy. But, I mean, when you talk about stories like that, it sucks. It sucks to say that your teammates were treating you that way.
And Kobe still went on to win more NBA titles. Kobe's that guy. I don't think it was a good idea. And I know Shaq was young, and obviously looking back on it, he probably, maybe wouldn't have done it. When you're younger, you're not as mature. Their relationship was mended before the unfortunate passing. But I think Kobe's that guy. You don't mess with Kobe. Like, he still rebuilt a team and won later championships without Shaq. So, that was shocking, though, that it really did get that bad. I want to touch one more NBA topic really quickly before we move on to MLB. And it's about Greg Oden. An article came out this week that a former teammate, Travis Outlaw, said Oden was pushed too hard during his time with injuries when he was drafted to Portland. Channing Frye also, who was a teammate at the time, weighed in saying that he kind of understands both sides, saying that when you are drafted number one, they really want to push you out there and say, look, this is what we picked. But they kind of sped the process up. So is winning more important now, or still, I guess, as important in the NBA over physical health?
I mean, yeah. I mean, sometimes, a lot of times, the athletes and the players got to take fault in this situation as well, because they got to be, they're the guys feeling the pain, or the guys going through the situation. If you're not healthy, if you're like a step behind than others, don't say, hey, you know what, I'm good, coach, put me in. Hey, I'm good. Let me start next Tuesday. No, take the time off and put your foot down and be like, hey, you know what? I don't think I'm capable right now. I need more time off. But a lot of time, yeah, the organization does put pressure on you, just like they did to Kevin Durant during the NBA Finals last year, which, he was coming off, I believe it was a hamstring throughout from the first round, then coming in, I think it was game 4 of the NBA Finals. He came back for about a quarter of the game. Then he teared his Achilles on the court. And that's what happens when you're pressured. Every single TV analyst, every single person throughout that NBA Finals week, everyone was pressuring Kevin Durant to come back, and they're saying he's just trying to take the easy way out. He's already given away from the team. He's already trying to walk away after the Draymond Green drama they had. So he's giving up on it. So Kevin Durant was like, no, I haven't given up. I'm still here. He put his foot down. He said, you know what? I'm good. Let me come back to show everybody off. And then look what happens in the first quarter. It's Achilles. Why? Because he was being pressured to get back on the court. And, for something like that, a lot of the outside people, not just the team and the organization, takes blame for this, but the outside world as well should take the blame for all the injuries. And as well, Markelle Fultz, just not too long ago with the Philadelphia 76ers as well.
Obviously, we weren't in the locker room in Portland at the time when Greg Oden was drafted. Maybe the mindset of Greg Oden could have been, I am the number one pick, a lot of pressure and a young mind to really deliver to a city that really, when they had Oden, they had LaMarcus Aldridge there. They were expecting to be a championship team and possibly win multiple titles. So maybe Oden felt the pressure, or the coaching staff felt the pressure a little too much. But I do agree with you. I think the athletes kind of have to be like, hey, I'm not up to basketball shape, or I'm not up to play. And it was a great point. I was going to bring up the Kevin Durant point when he came into that NBA Finals and got injured. I don't think Kevin Durant should have played during the NBA Finals. I think we all know that now. It obviously cost him injury time last season, and I think
cost him a full season this whole year. He could have been back on the court early start with the Brooklyn Nets, but look what happened.
I think I think the media did put a lot of pressure on Kevin Durant to play, and I think it's one of the main reasons, if not the only reason, he did play in the NBA Finals. And unfortunately, got injured. I think sometimes people place too much emphasis. I know it's a win now league, but I think you have the best trainers in the world, or
Mhm.
among the best trainers in the world, and you have to listen to them. If they tell you, "Hey, this guy's a step behind," or "Hey, I don't know if I would play him," I think you have to kind of listen to that, and in Kevin Durant's case, and be like, "Hey, like, we can go at it next year. I'd rather have." Obviously, we didn't know they didn't know if he was
Mhm.
leaving or not, but we can kind of go at it in another direction. I do want to talk the MLB. I just wanted to discuss that was an interesting article coming out this week about Greg Oden. The MLB and the MLB Players Association have been going over multiple scenarios in order to start the season, I guess, kind of soonish, including playing games in Florida and Arizona, or just Arizona. These scenarios, basically, a quote said that we're still in the pregame of everything, or we're still in the pregame stretch with any of these ideas. We're not even to the first inning. An ESPN reports that all 30 teams would play in Arizona using training facilities and Chase Field, the Diamondback stadiums. And the players, coaches, and essential staff would live in relative isolation. A USA Today report claimed that teams would return to spring training homes in Florida and Arizona, and they would basically wipe out the AL and NL and kind of play the divisions wherever their location they are at. Are these situations justifiable, Fredo?
Yeah, they're good enough. I mean, you got to look the spring training facility that the Dodgers and the Chicago White Sox share in Camelback Ranch, right outside of Phoenix, Arizona. They have about 7 to 8, 9 fields. I mean, big fields, practice fields. It's a big old facility. I mean, there's a lot of room to kind of play 8, 9 games at the same time because baseball happens every single day. You got 162 games. They got a facility big enough, and then, like you mentioned, they got also Chase Field where the Arizona Diamondbacks play at. They can also play there. So I mean, there's just so much ways they can go ahead and play these games, but it's gonna be kind of tough. Hopefully sooner than later. I mean, nobody really knows when
Yeah.
we're all going to be able to go back to it and when everyone's going to be able to go back to their original stadiums. But hopefully sooner than later they'll be able to figure something out, man. At the end of the day, we just need sports,
The
man.
season
And
Yeah, the season is currently suspended until May 12th. That's what it's suspended for now. I'm sure it's going to be longer or
mhm.
extended. These games would be played without fans, which will be interesting. One source,
We'll see how that goes.
yeah, a lot of sources are running, or all these sources I'm giving you are remaining anonymous. They're not really coming out because there's still ongoing discussions between the Players Association and the MLB as a league. But one source I thought this was kind of interesting said, quote, the whole idea of playing without fans is very hard to accomplish. Playing without fans means players are going to have to take serious pay cuts. And do you think a player coming out of free agency would do that, or do you think players are willing to take serious pay cuts? It's going to be an interesting.
Whew.
I think
I,
baseball, we saw it a few years ago, I believe, with the Orioles and White Sox. It was a totally different situation. They played one game without fans. I think baseball has a long enough season where you could possibly play a few without fans. It does suck for the fans, but I think it is a game that you could play without fans. But there's nothing. Then you think the postseason, obviously, hopefully things will be normalized by then.
mhm.
There's nothing better than postseason baseball, or very,
Yeah.
very.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, for all sports, you need fans in those seats in order to make money. It's a business, and hopefully they kind of just do something differently to make it a great experience without any fans on the field. They got surround systems. They can create some entertainment to kind of keep it moving.
Yeah, I mean, we will see the status of all sports moving forward, but that was the baseball report for
All right.
today. So they are considering other options, and I think
Mm-hmm.
moving forward, hopefully they'll come to a resolution soon.
Yep.
But like they have a lot of work to do. Fredo, we're gonna wrap it up this week, but
Before we go, I want to break a little bit of things. A little bit. I don't know how much time we got left on here, but I should let you guys know. A new article coming in. It's coming in hot tomorrow morning. In the Big Three, I'm pretty sure you guys are aware about the Big Three basketball league that was co-founded by Ice Cube, and only Ice Cube. And as well, they got a new thing going on. They got a new Big Three quarantine reality show with a basketball tournament. It'll be very exciting to go ahead and see that thing's going to be taking place here in LA. Big Three is to be hosting this big thing. They partner with Big Brother, the Big Brother production on NBC, CBS, to go ahead and produce this new reality show. So it's going to be crazy. players are going to be living in the same household with the refs and everybody. Then later on that night, they're going to go ahead and play a game, then come back home, and all the drama that's going to happen with all these big time players from the big three, all the big time coaches for the big three. So it's going to be an amazing reality show. So I got a lot more great details regarding the big three's new quarantine reality show basketball tournament coming in early May. So we were a couple weeks away. So a lot of great hot details. You can check it out at inthefrontrow.com. Check out the article, and then you'll go ahead and see all the information on Instagram tonight and tomorrow morning.
Alrighty, perfect. We will look forward to that article and the reality show. It's going to be interesting.
Yes, it's going to be amazing.
That's a good show. So if they're partnering with them to do it, that's going to be something to look forward to. So guys, look forward to that on the in the front row for a web on the in the front row website. I can't speak today. Coming soon. We're going to wrap things up, guys, here on our show, but we will be back next week. I'm guessing still in quarantine. We're hoping to make it to the studio soon. Fredo, thanks for joining me this week. Hopefully Shireen will come back next week. We miss her. She's the reason that all these things and this show happen. So hopefully she'll be back with us next week and she can give her opinion on everything that we talked today if she would like. Guys, go ahead and follow us on all social media at In the Front Row LA, Instagram, Twitter. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel so you know when our shows
are there.
Yep, subscribe, guys, please do. And we will see you next time, probably still in quarantine, guys. See you next time.
Deuce.